Alright, well this is my aquaponic system. I'm gonna gravel grow bed here. Oh, I guess I should start over here. Basically everything starts here at the sump, the lowest point in the system. And I just upgraded from a quarter-inch pump, a quarter horsepower pump, to a 1 horsepower pump. From a 3/4 inch outlet to an 1.25 inch outlet. So I've got too much flow for my current drainage piping size to accommodate. So the extra flow just comes down and gets recirculated to the sump, basically moving the water around in a circle for no purpose except just to reduce the volume pumped. Now the rest of the water that I don't just recirculate goes from the sump pump through a one-way valve and up over to the top of my fish tank. It's a 300-gallon stock tank, and up on a platform, and it drains out through the fit-in at the bottom and through an overflow, the upside down U right there, which is set at a level just a little bit lower than the top of the tank. So the water flows out through that, back down this pipe, and up into this grow bed. And there's a little 1/2 inch that feeds this bathtub I recently converted into a gravel grow bed. It's aerated, that's what this pipe is from, and that's what that pipe is for too. It goes down into the gravel bed, into a grid of or a rectangle of PVC with holes drilled in it for aeration. Seems to do alright. Everything's kind of on the rebound from the addition of the 300-gallon stock tank. It used to be, the fish used to be in the bathtub with no gravel in it, and that was where my fish waste came from. But I wanted to get more fish, so I needed a bigger stock tank, or a bigger fish tank. So from the gravel grow bed here, well really, from this bathtub, this little bit of flow goes through a drainage, boom, and then comes around into a primitive swirl filter, which has actually caught quite a bit of material down at the bottom. It's not anaerobic, mostly just like rock dust and stuff. Some of it's fish waste at the bottom, some of it's paint flakes that blew off the I got the cheap paint on this, so anyway, it flakes off. You can see right here, yeah, it's flaking off, or most of it's flaked off. Whatever is gonna flake off, I don't know. Anyway, there's some paint flakes there that got caught in that filter. So from the large gravel grow bed here, it drains out. I've got there's the fit-in, goes down, and that little pipe is optional. There's a valve there, and it can divert water directly back to the sump tank. It's normally closed. And this pipe here goes underneath these two beds, these two, and it comes, there it comes, boom. That feeds this hydroton bed, and the pipe on that going into the distance feeds that gravel bed. And here's the overflow. for the big gravel bed. We've got some kale and onions and tomatoes in here, but these poor tomatoes, something's going on with them. Otherwise, the kale's doing okay. It's a little, I don't know, mildewy. The leaves keep going like this, but I think everything's just kind of weak because of the cold and the recent addition of 300 plus gallons of city water. So these are all garlic. I planted a clove last spring, or last fall, or summer, I guess. And then each one of those cloves grew up, and then that was one clove. Now it's like 5, 8, 10, blah blah blah. So there's lots of them. I probably have like 60 little individual garlic cloves, and I took one of these little bundles where they were all growing together, and I separated just to see how it did. And they did okay, I think, due to flow patterns. Like, this guy's not doing so good. This guy's probably not doing so good. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's get him in there. Maybe that can help a little bit. Ooh, I see it looks like fresh roots though on that garlic. It's very fragrant too. And this is leftovers from my chives. I pulled my chives out. Roots. The chives were holding on to the volcanic rock here. And so I just dumped it in there. Oh, I figured the worms would eat it, which they did. I probably just got that guy though. He's probably gonna become worm food. Boom. And so worms. Oh, I screwed up one of my garlic now. Okay, now we're back in. Everyone's plugged in, no one's falling over. Looks great. Okay. This is a wildflower that grows across the way. I think it's a sweet pea, or I don't know what it is, but really pretty flowers that called out to me. So I took a little sprig and plugged it in, and it's been growing since last summer. Super duper green onions from the store. They were just regular little spring onions, you know, with like this size. And then I chopped them up. I ate most of them. I left just the roots, and they grew back like this. This one's putting off a blossom. I think it's near end of life. Maybe I should have harvested these before. I just wanted to see how how they would do, and this is how they've done. It's pretty good, in my opinion. And behind it is parsley. They've really done a good job on this. Really adapted well to the aquaponics. Very tasty. Yeah, vibrant sweetness that I don't normally taste in restaurant parsley. And the strawberries, these are all roots from the corn that was growing there. It was kind of a mistake. Put the corn right by the drainage. And but the strawberries are just going crazy. Actually, they just started showing signs of, I don't know, the edges of the leaves are going yellow, I guess, or light green. Some kind of deficiency. I don't know, the water still is balancing out, I guess. And we got this, and they're sending runners out on into the wild, so to speak. And so maybe we'll have strawberries all along here. Wouldn't that be cool? So this gravel doesn't drain as easily as the hydro ton, so I put a valve on it. And so it really doesn't flow very much. Just kind of whenever the other bed pipe has some kind of a backflow or something, or a pressure wave or something, it pushes water through here. Otherwise, there's really not that much water that comes through here. Eventually, it'll happen, but my luck, it'll be right after I turn the camera off. Oh, there it goes. So that was it. That was it. Hope it lived up to the expectations. And here's the drainage. I've excavated all the gravel back, and it seems to be holding back pretty good. These holes drain into these pipes because the fittings, I bought these trays used and the fittings leaked a little bit, so I got these pipes to catch any leaks. And same on this bed now. This is a hose I am kind of experimenting with drainage. I don't really like it, but it's the most convenient thing at the moment. But inconvenient also because people kick this and bring it out, and then you just lose a little bit of water over time. If it falls out, you're only losing a small amount of water versus how much is going through the system. So you don't really notice it at first. And if you're not out here, all of a sudden you come back and you've got an empty sump tank. So anyway, I try and keep that tucked in like that, but there's got to be a better way. I know, I just have to spend some time on it. And so this is how both of the secondary beds were set up at first, with kind of a cutback pot set down to cover the drainage holes like this. But this one didn't work because the plastic pot was not strong enough to hold back the weight of the rock. And this stuff is lighter, so it seems to be doing okay, but even so, it's bowed in quite a bit, and the holes are kind of occluded by or I don't know how to say it quite right, but the edge of the strainer planter pot has kind of pushed past the opening of the drainage holes. So maybe HydroTon could get into those drainage holes. I don't think they are or will, but now I can't get in there to clean I can see roots starting to build up there and clean the roots. So it's going to be a big deal to go in there. I'll have to think of a better way to do the drainage on these beds. But otherwise, they seem to grow okay. Got the peas in right here, and all kinds of strings for them to grab onto. That one, I keep trying to guide it back to these twines. No, it wants to go onto this raspberry cane over here, and well, I hope everything goes okay between the two of those. And peas, peas, peas. Now let's go take a look at the fish tank. Alright, I'm up on the platform. Everyone seems pretty happy. I wish there was an angle I could shoot from that didn't have so much reflections. Ooh, birds. That looks good. You can see there's mostly goldfish. There's a few catfish in there. And that is the discharge of the pump coming in. Kind of angled so it gives the whole tank a circular flow. And then this bit here is the drainage. It's kind of a solids lifting overflow, but this is the catchment part, and then it overflows on the other side, on the outside of the tank. So it comes out through that. This is a slotted pipe right here, and it comes out there, comes up, overflows into, oh cool, there it is. So that's the overflow, and then it's going down that pipe and into those two beds, where then it just does a big cycle again. And I guess now I need some more grow beds.